is not a holiday story, but it is still amazing. A game of tag. In 2017, a certain video appeared on YouTube. The phone recording presented a busy intersection in a rather large city, probably in the United States. The circumstances indicated the situation took place during rush hour in March or April, as people were wearing light coats and some snow is still visible among the blooming trees and grass. So let me just tell you this. The recording starts with screaming. You can hear distant cries. A few people are seen running, and even from a distance, it is clearly a panicked rush with lots of scruffling and pushing aside. There is a sense of confusion and uncertainty among the obscured noises. One clear what's going on can be heard. The video is in good quality but shaky, as the person holding the phone is trying to get closer to the commotion. Around the 10th second, the chaos starts spreading. Pedestrians are now moving faster and more people are running like it is a riot. If it was not for the crowd on the crossing, some would definitely have gotten hit by a car, as people are clearly being reckless and focused on getting as far away as they can. The faint sound of police sirens can be heard. The phone user is now more or less 40 feet away from the center of the ruckus, getting a nice paranormal shoot. 2 seconds later, there's a scream somewhere very close. Mass hysteria ensues. When the timer hits 19 seconds, a girl in a green hoodie emerges from the right corner of the screen. She is unnoticed by the camera person. The crowd is thinner where she appears, and she easily navigates among the pedestrians like she's floating. You can see she easily is somewhere in her early 20s with long black hair that covers half her face, and her hands in her pockets and hunching as if having back problems from old age. People are running around her. When she gets close to the center, a 50-something man in a wool jumper turns in her direction. He says something muffled in subtitles below. Read, do you know what's going on? Before any viewers start wondering why this random voice is submitted, as nothing else is, the girl says something in response. Then releases her hand from her pocket and touches the man on the shoulder. The camera notices the sudden movement in the corner and zooms in on the scene, whereupon the man starts twitching frantically as if having a seizure. Something happens to his face, gets red, starts blistering. 3 seconds later, the phone owner cries in a male voice, "Oh my God, oh, as the man falls to the ground with an unnaturally swollen chest. The nearby passengers watch this in fear, then begin screaming and running away. The crowd, now knowing the source of the panic, is spread. A vast wave of bodies flood the street, stopping vehicles. glorious glimpses of their horrified faces. I mean, just horrified. Finally, the police arrive. Other phones are recording the commotion, their flickering lights appearing somewhere in the corner. The girl is now in focus. She walks towards another person and touches them. It's a teenage boy who makes choking gestures and starts bleeding from his mouth as his chest bloats to giant proportions. The two other boys, probably his friends, scream and try to run away, but one is scratched by the girl. He stumbles onto the ground, red and choking blood. The other one cries so loud it can be heard above the noise. In the constant chaos, a young woman bumps into the girl. She falls to the ground and never moves again. The girl proceeds to leap towards every person she is able to. She touches them, and each one ends up the same way. After touching about 4 more people for a brief second, she looks in the direction of the camera, grinning widely. The video is 1 minute, 4 seconds long, and has over 6 million views. The comment section consisted mainly of WTF and "this is not real in any way, is it?" reactions. Many were not convinced. Some proclaimed it as a fake, and there were a few who believed it to be one of those pranks used to promote new horror movies. I get it. Trolls were joking they would bang the girl either way. Sick. After the incident, the girl in the green hoodie was nowhere to be found. I mean, just disappeared. The event received media coverage all over the world. But the fact that people died after being touched by her was barely mentioned. Most news reports described it as a biological attack, of course, organized by no other than terrorists, of course. The girl in the green hoodie must have been using some kind of gas or syringe filled with toxic chemicals. This blatant lie wasn't overlooked by the netizens, as millions of commenters noted that no gas or syringe was present during the event, and witnesses actually saw that a simple touch turned a person into a blood-choking red mess. The media, however, refused to accept this explanation and turned a blind eye to the accusations. Sweep it under the rug. That's always been our motto in the U.S. No real explanation was given to the deaths as well. According to the medical authorities, the victims had been dead before any help severe pulmonary injuries, which explained the bleeding and swollen chest. But how was it done? OP expressed their shock as they had never seen such damage caused in such a short time. They also added that the victims were exposed to aflatoxins. Aflatoxins are cancerous chemicals only found in corn, walnuts, or peanuts, to name a few foods that, especially when improperly stored, can lead to liver cancer and other horrible things, such as hemorrhaging. According to OP, the amount of aflatoxins in the body was 20 times larger than in normal instances of aflatoxin poisoning, which caused severe damage to their livers almost instantaneously. The list of symptoms goes on and on: throat injuries, internal bleedings, dermatitis, sore and bloodshot eyes, developed to a very, very serious stage. The effects are similar to being exposed to black mold for a very long period of time. They never responded to any of the comments made by anybody. Although people were skeptical, the posts gained a lot of attention. For a few months, YouTube became flooded with reaction videos and theories. Conspiracy theorists believe the girl in the green hoodie was a governmental experiment gone wrong. Wide cut so. A real-life SCP. Is it? Or even a pestilence, one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. The girl even gained her own cult following, becoming an internet meme, of course. She was dubbed Rosie, cute, in reference to Ring Around the Rosie, a nursery rhyme about the Black Death. But this was not the first time Rosie appeared on the internet, no. Because back in 2011, a YouTube video was uploaded with the title written in Japanese, which could be Google translated as "Death on the Street, Japan, Weird Girl Found?" question mark, question mark, question mark. It depicts an intersection in a suburban area seen from a third-floor balcony. People are running away and screaming. The camera's focused on the girl in the green hoodie in the middle of the street. Monitoring the surrounding chaos, she keeps her hands in her pockets, and this time her face is hidden under a hood. Around her lie many, many bodies, like a macabre version of petals surrounding a flower bud. You can hear the camera person talking with someone next to them. Their voices are pitched to an almost chipmunk-like squeak. But you know, Japanese, you can't make out what they are saying after almost 2 minutes of footage. Guess who leaves the scene? That's right, Rosie leaves the scene before the police arrive. Sound familiar? At the time, people believed this video was fake, of course, and there was never any media coverage of the event. Nobody knew where it had taken place, nor who had recorded it. However, after the incident in 2017, somehow. Does anybody have any information concerning any of these videos? Has anyone ever seen this girl before? The first response appeared 2 days later. When I first saw that video, I was freaked out because I had a very similar experience 2 or 3 years earlier. I was sitting on a bench in a park. There were not many people walking, jogging, etc. I was on my phone, waiting for a friend, but when I raised my head, I noticed a girl in a green hoodie. She passed me without interest, and I only remember her because she had a big smile on her face, which I thought at the time was cute. After that, I stopped paying attention, but a few minutes later, I heard a scream. I ran to see what happened and found an older guy laying on the ground with a really red face and swollen chest. I thought he had choked on something, so I called 911. It took them forever to get there. I was scared out of my mind at the time, so I can't remember if the girl was ever there. But seeing all the bodies in that video reminded me of that day. I just couldn't shake it. I couldn't. The girl passed me by with a smile on her face. If it is the same girl, I think I'll go mad. She could have touched me too if she wanted to, but why didn't she touch me? The post gained a lot of replies, but one was more interesting than the others. The user shared a blurry photo of 2 dead horses near a fence, their chests swollen and patches of red skin in between the fur. They were poisoned in a way that you couldn't see their faces, but I could just imagine their eyes were bloodshot. The user wrote, I live in a family farm in the outskirts of France. We breed horses. Over 5 years ago, we found 2 of our mares dead just like this. We thought some wild animal had done it, as we live close to a forest, but there were no bite or claw wounds. We called the vet. He did an autopsy and claimed the horses had a severe case of mold poisoning and said we should check our stables as quickly as possible. Our stables are well maintained, but we check them good, every nook and cranny, just in case. There was not even a speck of mold. Besides, there were several other horses in the paddock, healthy and unharmed. For years, I believed the 2 dead ones had to have been eaten by something or eaten something toxic, until I saw the videos on YouTube with Rosie, the green hooded girl. I couldn't believe my eyes because the victims had the same symptoms as our mares back then. Then I found the post of that autopsy technician who described the cause of death, asphyxiation from severe black mold exposure. Fucking mold exposure. I don't know if she killed my horses, but the symptoms were exactly the same. There is a path next to the paddock, right near the fence where our horses were found. People were horrified after seeing the photo. You can kill a man and no one bats an eye. But an animal, animal cruelty is fortunately less tolerated on the internet. Many hypotheses appear before someone posted another video. There was an introduction in broken English, but I managed to make it out. Apparently, OP used to work at a bar. One night while on shift, he heard screams and gunshots coming from outside. He was too scared to check what was happening, as if it was really a nasty neighborhood. After about 10 minutes, everything went completely dead silent. The next day, he and his boss checked the video surveillance. I watched the footage he uploaded in the dim glow of the entrance lighting. Two men ran through the street. One disappeared from the shot, but the other one was quickly snatched by someone whose face was hidden under a hoodie. The captured men twitched erratically before falling to the ground, motionless, dead. The hoodie figure quickly followed the one who escaped. It was dark. The footage had a very low frame rate. Quality was really bad, but many agreed, me included, that the attacker was short for a man, didn't use any weapons, and was wearing something resembling a zip front sweatshirt of uncertain color. But what really bothered me, was the mention of gunshots. As it was CCTV footage, no audio was recorded. So how would they know if there was gunshots or not? As if it was placed there, if someone was shooting Rosie, if it really was Rosie, it didn't seem to be affected in any way. Over the span of a few months, my subreddit has grown over 3 times in size. People have shared their own experiences and posted photos, videos they've found. There were a few who decided to make YouTube documents about Rosie based on all the uploaded material. There was a lot to find. We received video recordings from airports, stores, streets, malls all over the world. The number of photos depicting dead, swollen bodies was absolutely remarkable. Some people claim to spot Rosie even taking pictures inconspicuously. But in most cases, they were false alarms or fake footage. Theories started popping up like mad. Even Rosie's popularity grew. She received a lot of fan art, very often disturbing in more ways than one. I think she is misunderstood. Maybe that smile is fake and she is really suffering. I want to help her. One user wrote, he received a quick reply, "You're an idiot, you know that?" What really shook me up was a photo posted about 5 months ago. After I created my subreddit, the user described it in just one sentence. I didn't make sense. And then the next one said that I didn't make it. Neither one of them made sense to me. I don't know. The photo presented Rosie from behind, without her hood on, her hair hanging from her shoulders as she leaned against a brick wall. Rosie with sheer terror in his eyes, his face red from crying. There was no background story. No one could imagine or recognize the place or the boy. It was like he'd never existed. People who clearly didn't read the post started accusing the OP for just staying there and taking pictures, and we were reminded to read descriptions first. The photos stayed in my mind for a long time. The boy's face haunts me to this day. I quickly connected the dots and began my own investigation. I started posting videos myself, trying to solve the mystery of Rosie. I tried to dig up information about her real name, her real origin, and possible relatives, but that was to no avail. I contacted police departments in countries Rosie was reported in. Despite evidence I presented, she was never caught on camera or even seen. In a Skype interview with a police officer who witnessed the 2017 incident, said, "We kept hearing about a girl in a green hoodie, but we never found such a person. No personal information, no address, nothing. We sent police notices all around the country. Whoever she was, she disappeared without a trace." Despite my best efforts, I wasn't able to find anything. It seemed as if Rosie comes from nowhere and can appear and disappear whenever and wherever she pleases. Sometimes when I check all three evidence, I start doubting myself. Blurred photos, easily manipulated, staged videos, accounts of people that might be lying or simply gullible. I might be onto something, but maybe it's all a wild goose chase, and I need to stop believing in everything I see on the internet. But I can't stop worrying. All the videos and written accounts from other people described locations that were remote or barely inhabited. The 2017 videos was the first time Rosie was seen in a more crowded, populated